In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 college football games happening on October 1st, 2022, and providing you with team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 3 picks for each game, 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 college football games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive betting picks to take your sports betting journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer anywhere from 1 betting pick a day up to 10 betting picks a day and much more. Now let's get started. NC State versus Clemson. College game day is in South Carolina for the Textile Bowl. Number 5 Clemson and number 10 NC State's Atlantic Coast Conference heavyweight fight. Just 296 miles separate Clemson and Raleigh. However, the Tigers have bested their neighbor 59 times in 89 attempts. NC State is a top 10 team behind Dave Doeren and their 13th ranked defense with an improving offense. Battle-tested Clemson enters after a close 2-overtime win over ranked Wake Forest. Atlantic Coast Conference Saturday Night Football on ABC, with all the eyes of the nation on Clemson. The Wolfpack are 5-14 against the spread in their last 19 road games and 11-5 against the spread in their last 16 conference games. The Tigers are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 conference games and 2-8 against the spread in their last 10 home games. The over is 5-2 in Wolfpack last 7 games overall. The over is 3-1 in Tigers last 5 home games. The Wolfpack are 5-2 against the spread in their last 7 meetings in Clemson. NC State is 2-1-0 against the spread after a win this season. The Wolfpack used their 41-10 victory against UConn to kickstart their offense before this Clemson game. Ultimately, the attack has progressed since their opening game against East Carolina. NC State ranks 73rd in passing offense, but should be able to attack the Tigers' 104th pass defense with a few Clemson injured or shaking off some rust. The Clemson Tigers are going to get the benefit of the doubt at home, especially because they haven't lost here in a million years. However, Clemson hasn't been all that impressive, nearly lost last week to Wake Forest and is 105th in passing defense. The NC State Wolfpack have been the more balanced team up to this point. They beat Clemson last year, and they have one of the better defenses in the country. NC State is a physical team that's 13th in total defense, 9th in run defense, and 10th in scoring defense. I was high on NC State entering the year, and I'm not jumping off the bandwagon after this start. This is a chance to be a classic Atlantic Chaos Conference battle that comes down to the wire. A top 10 matchup provides a lot of emotion, and NC State will keep it within 6 points. So the North Carolina State Wolfpack to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The Wolfpack are averaging 36 points per game, but they were held to 21 points in their only road game. They averaged 15 points per game in their last 3 games against the Tigers. They won't be able to run efficiently against the Tigers, who have one of the best run defenses in the country, and their passing game has looked less than impressive against decent competition, so don't expect them to score more than 20 points in this game. The Tigers are averaging 44 points per game and 41 points per game at home. They averaged 39 points per game in their last 3 games against the Wolfpack. Even though the Wolfpack have played well defensively, they aren't as good against the pass and haven't faced an offense as potent as Clemson's, so expect the Tigers to score enough points to push the score over the total. The Tigers and Wolfpack played over the total in 3 of their last 4 meetings. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. West Virginia versus Texas. The Big 12 brings a matchup of .500 teams on the gridiron, one that might be okay with their record and one who should be disappointed by their early showing in the Lone Star State. It's the West Virginia Mountaineers making the trip as they travel to face the Texas Longhorns Saturday night. West Virginia comes in off a 33-10 dismantling of Virginia Tech on the road last Thursday, easily covering the 2.5-point spread. Texas ended up falling 37-34 in overtime to Texas Tech on the road, losing outright as a 7-point favorite last Saturday in their most recent action. In the all-time series between the programs, the Mountaineers own a 6-5 advantage, including a 31-23 home victory in the most recent meeting on November 20th, 2021. West Virginia is 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 conference games, while the under is 7-2 in their last 9 games following a win. Texas is 4-0 against the spread spread in their last 4 home games and 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games overall, while the under is 5-1 in their last 6 games following an against the spread loss. Texas has had issues when it comes to making stops in crunch time. We saw that bite them in the loss to Alabama and then again against Texas Tech. The Longhorns gave up the go-ahead field goal in the final minute of regulation to the Red Raiders before losing in overtime. West Virginia gained confidence in the last 2 weeks as they stifled Towson and Virginia Tech, allowing a combined 408 yards of offense and 17 points in those 2 games. Texas has an explosive offensive attack, though it's not quite as dynamic, with Card under center instead of Ewers. West Virginia can do damage on the ground and through the air with an experienced signal caller in Daniels. Texas may win this game, but it's closer than the line would indicate. I get the case to be made either way here, but I'm leaning towards West Virginia with the points. If this line was under a touchdown, maybe I could go with the Longhorns, but getting more than a touchdown with West Virginia in what's normally a tight matchup against a Texas team that's had some defensive issues sounds like a fine play to me. So the West Virginia Mountaineers to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. West Virginia and Texas both rank in the top 65 in seconds per play, so I would expect this game to be played at a fast pace, especially if Quinn Ewers plays. Against Alabama, Ewers showed a willingness to pass downfield as he averaged 14.9 yards per completion before his injury. West Virginia's secondary leaves a bit to be desired, so Ewers, or Hudson Card if Ewers does not play, could find success passing the ball downfield on Saturday night. Each of West Virginia's first 3 games went over this number easily before its win against Virginia Tech, in which the Mountaineers held the Hokies to 10 points. The Mountaineers have a strong offensive line with solid quarterback play and very good players at their skill positions, so they will be able to put up points in this contest. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Georgia Tech versus Pittsburgh. Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh is the site for an Atlantic Coast Conference clash between the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets and the number 24 Pittsburgh Panthers, a relatively newer Atlantic Coast Conference rivalry with only 16 previous meetings. However, the Panthers are on a 4-game win streak and lead the Jackets 11-5 all-time. After their win against Rhode Island, Pitt opens Atlantic Coast Conference play as hosts for a 1-3 Georgia Tech team that's highlight of the season is giving Clemson trouble for about 20 minutes. Georgia Tech is 1-6 against the spread in their last 7 conference games and 0-4 against the spread in their last 4th of October games. The under is 6-0 in Georgia Tech's last 6 games. Pittsburgh is 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games and 0-4 against the spread in their last 4 home games. The over is 10-3 in Pittsburgh's last 13 home games. The road team is 7-2 against the spread in these 2 teams' last 9 head-to-head meetings. Georgia Tech has had a rough go of it so far, resulting in head coach Jeff Collins getting fired. The Yellow Jackets opened against Clemson, played Ole Miss in Week 3, and traveled to UCF last week, all 3 loses. The lone win came against FCS Western Carolina. So far the Yellow Jackets have not looked good, although few in that schedule. Tech will travel to Pittsburgh, where the Panthers are 3-1, suffering their lone loss to Tennessee while losing their quarterback at halftime. Pitt is a definite contender in the Atlantic Coast Conference, and there is little chance it loses at home to Georgia Tech. Why can Georgia Tech cover? First, 22 is a large spread, especially in a conference game. Second, Pitt has yet to win by 22 all season, beating Rhode Island and Western Michigan by 21 each. It wins with their defense, and when the defense makes the game comfortable, the offense is content to control the ball and the game. That does not lead to a lot of lopsided scores. Last week, in his return to the lineup, quarterback Kedon Slovis eased his way back into action, throwing 27 times for only 189 yards. He may only need a similar performance to get the job done against the Yellow Jackets. Third, the Georgia Tech offense started to show some signs of life last week, racking up 452 yards, even if only mustering 10 points in a losing effort. The Jackets expected to be better on offense, and maybe they start to pay off some points this week. Pitt is the far better team, and my guess is it will take control of the game early. Yet if Georgia Tech continues to show some progress on offense, even against a tough Panther defense, it should score enough to stay under the 3-touchdown spread. Pittsburgh has failed to beat anyone by more than 21 points this season, and their defense has allowed some points this season. I'll gladly take the free points, especially when we are getting more than 3 touchdowns. So the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The Yellow Jackets are averaging 14 points per game and 10 points per game on the road. They averaged 17 points per game in their last 3 games against the Panthers. They will have a hard time moving the ball against the Panthers, who have a stout defense that is giving up 25 points per game, so expect them to be held under 14 points in this game. The Panthers are averaging 37 points per game and 37 points per game at home. They averaged 35 points per game in their last 3 games against the Yellow Jackets. They have a great running game and they're facing one of the worst run defenses in the country, so expect them to score enough points to push the score past the total. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive betting picks to take your sports betting journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer anywhere from 1 betting pick a day up to 10 betting picks a day and much more. Now let's get started.